with Anabela, remember? About a month ago, right?
Right.
A month ago we did our first video. Huge success. You become an overnight star. You signed $1 million contract.
Yeah, I wish.
No?
No,
Didn't
not
happen?
yet. Soon.
All right. But a few people, several people in fact, looked at that video and asked me how to get a hold of you. Of course, not a Facebook person yet. We're working on her. But several people I gave your email to, and you got great responses. You helped some families already.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, if you haven't seen the first video, Anabel is a licensed nutritional therapist.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the office of probably the most amazing,
It's pretty
this is
amazing.
the most amazing place I've ever been.
Yeah.
This is a dentist office, and I'm going to try and show you some video
The art of dentistry.
in Somerset, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I can't describe this place. I mean, so I'm going to try and shoot some video to give you an idea of this place is beyond imaginable. But anyway, we're going to talk today. We're going to keep our theme of nutrition, and especially with children.
Right.
My background with children, I've been involved in youth sports for 23 years, and I'm seeing a very bad trend now with children that are overweight, very poor eating habits. So we're going to talk today about some of the myths that parents have about nutrition, and some of the key things that are going on today, like key phrases that people are using.
Gluten.
Yeah, gluten is a...
I think we'll talk about that.
Yeah, why don't you start with that? Because everybody, I don't know what gluten is.
Right. Well,
do people know what gluten is?
No, they really don't. It's now like a buzzword, and it's a good thing, but gluten is a protein that's in wheat.
Okay.
Some wheats don't have gluten, but most of them do. And it's becoming a real problem in our diets because our wheat has been so genetically modified. And our children, now we're sticking with children, our children are eating gluten breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, because it's wheat. So you're talking cereals, crackers, goldfish, pasta, bread. You know, this is what they're eating all day long. And our bodies, because this wheat now is genetically modified, so it's not even grown the way nature intended it to grow. It's now created like a reaction in the body, and this protein goes undigested or kind of creates havoc in the body. And so now a lot of people are going into the gluten-free products. And if you have celiac disease, which you can't touch gluten, it's, people get really sick, you definitely have to come off gluten and you go into these gluten-free products.
Okay.
But you don't have to have celiac to have a gluten sensitivity. There's a lot of conditions, a lot of autoimmune issues like Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid issue, Crohn's and colitis and diabetes. There's a lot of autoimmune issues that when a person eats gluten, it just makes the situation or the condition worse.
So every time gluten is a certified bad thing.
It's not a certified bad thing. It's become something very sensitive in our bodies. So we have to now avoid it. We've been bombarding our bodies with so much gluten that we've created almost a sensitivity to it.
Okay.
Unless you have celiac, that's like a blown out allergy to gluten. But you don't have to have celiac to have a sensitivity to gluten. Right. And you could do a simple test. Just come off gluten for like a couple of weeks and you'll see that your aches and pains, pastas, breads. There are some wheats that don't have gluten. Those are like Teft, buckwheat. But our breads and our goldfish and our crackers are not being made with that. Those are called heirloom wheats, and they're more expensive, and they're not highly processed. They're not put in our everyday products. So you have to really look for those. You can't find them, you have to look for those products. They do not have gluten in them if you want to eat wheat, but you want to stay away from the gluten. So now we're buying all these gluten-free products because, we heard gluten is really bad, and especially with the autism connection, and let's get all these children off of gluten. So now we're substituting these gluten-free products. And we think that they're okay, and they are if you have a celiac issue or you have a sensitivity to gluten, but you have to read the ingredients. A lot of these gluten-free products are very high in sugar because now they substitute the gluten, which is in the wheat, to rice products. And rice is very hard to mold and to make into cookies and cereals and different things like that. So they put a lot of conditioners in it, a lot of ingredients in them, and then they put a lot of sugar in them. So you have to really read the labels and look at the sugar content. So
now you're on the topic of sugar.
Right.
Sugar, at least I see this at the field all the time. I see kids with giant jugs of Gatorade.
Right.
Like big ones, not
right.
these are small
right.
kids drinking drinking? I mean,
Huge things.
what are the damages that sugar can, I mean, everyone knows too much sugar is bad, but why? Why is it?
It's very dehydrating. That's one thing. And it's very...
It's dehydrating. So these drinks...
Right. So now they're drinking this Gatorade, and because they're dehydrated, supposedly, because it has all these electrolytes in it, but then you just really damage the body because now you threw all the sugar in this Gatorade, and you're drinking all the sugar, and you're drinking...
And the sugar, most of these drinks is high fructose corn syrup.
Right.
Why is that bad?
That's a genetically modified corn that they use, number one.
So it's not sugar, it's...
Right, it's a form of sugar, but it's highly processed, and it creates a lot of health problems. I mean, they actually studied it and know that it's related to diabetes. It actually creates, when insulin is produced from the pancreas and it has to communicate with the cells, they found that high fructose corn syrup actually does not allow this communication that's supposed to go on from the hormone to the cell. So they do know that high fructose corn syrup, number one, creates weight gain. And they do know that it creates, or it'll add to a diabetic problem. And we have a lot of people who are diabetic and consuming a lot of high fructose corn syrup. It's in all our foods, so it's not just in our drinks. It's in our breads, it's in our pastas, it's in our ketchup, it's in everything. So that's one thing that you can eliminate out of your diet pretty easily by just reading the labels and just not buying the product if it has high fructose corn syrup in it. So when you consume a lot of this sugar, yes, it's dehydrating, that creates a problem, but it's also very inflammatory. So we have a lot of our illnesses are all inflammatory based. So if you want to get rid of inflammation, two things you got to come off of. You got to come off of sugar, and you have to try to come off of gluten, because that's also inflammatory. Because all those products, those pastas and cookies and not chips, that's potato, these breads and so forth, they convert into sugar. So it's very inflammatory. And then on top of that, you have the gluten that could create a problem in the body too, because the body doesn't really recognize its protein. It has a hard time breaking it down.
So when your body's in an inflamed state, it welcomes disease.
That's right. Because it creates inflammation, and the body the immune system has to constantly try to repair. Inflammation is a good thing, like you break your ankle, and you know how your ankle swells up? The body automatically inflames to create healing cells in that area so we can heal. But we don't want to create inflammation by what we're eating. We want our body to inflame because we need to repair. We don't want to create inflammation with the daily sugars and the daily pastas and breads and so forth. So we can create this inflammation in our body all day long. And so what that does is suppresses our immune system. Now just eating sugar alone, now keep in mind sugar is sugar, but it's also sugar when you eat like a pasta that converts into sugar. It will suppress your immune system up to 8 hours per dosage. So let's say you're eating a nice bowl of pasta. You're talking 6 to 8 hours that your immune system is suppressed. Now you're going to eat 6 to 8 hours later, you're going to eat? No, you're going to eat in a few hours. You're going to have a cookie, a pretzel, or a muffin, or a piece of bread. So now you're continuously suppressing the immune system all day long.
Wow, that's interesting stuff. So it's depressing too, because you start to think, like, what do I eat? What do I feed my child?
Try to eat foods that you make yourself. And I know that's hard for families today. We're very busy. There's a lot of help out there. There's recipes. You could maybe pick one day out of the week where you can do all this cooking.
I was going to say, instead of trying to completely change your lifestyle in one shot, maybe do it gradually.
That's right.
Instead of going, like, obviously kids drink a lot of sodas.
So
maybe from soda, you go to salsa with some...
That's what I do for my kids.
Splash of raspberry.
That's what I do with my kids. They don't drink soda. I mean, that's one thing that I will not allow my children to touch or is in my house. So I don't even buy it. That's the other thing. You don't have to, if you don't want to go out and start cooking and create this whole change, just stop buying the stuff that's so bad in the house, like soda and a lot of these cereals and a lot of these breads. You can eat a sandwich without bread. I mean, you can have other things without the bread.
I think there's a sandwich without bread.
I know, that didn't sound right, did it? But you know
what I mean. We're not editing that either, so you're not getting that done.
You don't have to have a sandwich, is what I'm trying to say. There's other things that you can eat. And you don't have to have the soda in the house, or you can buy other drinks. There are Gatorade type drinks that don't have high fructose corn syrup in it, you know, and cut back on the juices or dilute the juices. Now, going back to the soda, that's just one thing I will not allow my children to drink, just not acceptable. So when we go out to eat, we'll do like half seltzer and half cranberry juice. Gotta be careful because some of the cranberry juice has high fructose corn syrup in it. But you know, when I'm out at a restaurant and they're like, oh, mommy, please, I want soda, everybody else is drinking it, they feel like they're drinking a soda because they got the fizz from the seltzer, the sweetness from the cranberry juice, and I just feel...
And that's my point, is that you don't want to go cold turkey, so to speak.
Some people can't do that, so you acclimate into making changes. And you know your kids are going to give you a hard time, and if they turn around and they say, well, I'm just not eating, oh, it's okay. They're not going to starve if they don't eat for a couple days. Actually, they'll detox, it'll be okay. You know, they're not going to starve if they don't eat, you know, for a day or so, but they will eat. And you just, if you buy it and it's in the home, they'll eat it. You'll eat it, your kids will eat it. Just don't buy it and start making some changes, just with soda, just with, you know, sugared drinks, the juices. Try to eliminate as much of the wheat as you can. You could buy...
Now, they do sell gluten-free pasta, right?
Right. Yeah, we eat that. There's a really... Joy makes this pasta.
So what is Joy paying you? What's
No,
up with that?
I wish.
That's supposed to
Can
be...
they do that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be plugging.
All right, I won't say the name again. But anyway, they make a really good pasta, and it's made out of whole brown rice.
It's rice, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and whenever we eat pasta... No, you've had it at my house.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
You've eaten it many times, a few times.
Take it easy. It's been a while since you've cooked me a meal, so don't try and act like you're doing me favors.
I gotta get you over it for
For
a
a
meal.
long time. But anyway.
Yeah. But that's a really good pasta.
The key is, I mean, and people have to lower their expectations. They can't expect, I mean, yes, of course it's not going to taste the same.
It's really close.
But you can really, it really tastes.
Actually, you came over and you didn't know. I've had a couple of my Italian friends over and they had it and you had no idea.
The sauce is what really makes it. So if the sauce, this is what I try and tell folks. People, I can't drink salsa. You know, when I grew up, I probably drank a 2-liter bottle of soda every day and swore that I have to have it.
Right.
You make changes, and especially now for your kids. I mean, we are seeing children sign up for our baseball.
It's sad, yeah.
And they just, man, they're bad. I mean, they've got cookies. After the game, the parents are giving them chips. And,
right. No food.
My kids are no different. They want to eat the same stuff.
Right, because they see it. But, you know, we could bring, you know, a Ziploc bag of fruit or some cut up vegetables. And we can make changes. Why do we feel like we have to give them that?
Right.
Can't we just buy a bag already made, like carrots or some fruits? I think now, I don't know if it's McDonald's or Burger King, where you can actually get cut up apples in a bag. And so we can do that. We don't have to, you know, give our children these foods. And I think what the problem is, and I'm not bashing parents, you know, because I'm a parent too, we just don't know any better.
So it's
not
stupidity, it's ignorance.
Yeah,
ignorance
that's right.
is you don't know.
That's right.
Stupidity is you know and you don't do anything
That's
about
right.
it. Now, there are some stupid folks
I know.
that
They
know
know,
that
and
they're
they're
doing
still
is
doing
wrong,
it.
but they just think, I mean, I don't know what, there's a mentality that they think, whatever. This is your child's body. This is his...
Right, this is forever. They're going to grow up to have babies, you know, to hopefully live a healthy life. And how do we do that when our children now at 8, 9, 10 they have diabetes, not juvenile diabetes, adult diabetes. They're already overweight. They already can't run for a minute without huffing and puffing.
Right.
If this is how they are now at 9 and 10, or even before that, what makes us think that they're going to be healthy adults?
Right.
I mean, I have people calling me, young 25, 26-year-olds that are calling me. They're on the verge of diabetes, adult diabetes. And you know what? We cannot blame it on genetics. Because adult diabetes, in the past, it was when you got older.
Right.
So why is it now that we're getting it at 25 and 26 and 28? I'm getting these calls all the time, hypoglycemia, diabetes, and sugar problems, and women having problems with their menstruation, and that's all related to inflammation and the foods that we eat. It's really becoming a problem, so we need to change the children now. We need to make these changes for them now.
Right. Well, I think we've used up enough of our time. I'm going to put your email address on this video.
Okay.
Hopefully the next time we do one, you'll have your Facebook account set up.
I just need somebody to run it for me, answer them.
But anyway, Anabel Bacchione is the proper pronunciation of the name.
Right.
We are in the Art of Dentistry offices. I'm going to try and take some video and show you this place.
It's pretty amazing.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Until next time, Bobby D, Anabela. Peace.